morning, everybody. This is Miles Wallace from Peak Performers. We're a nonprofit staffing and recruiting agency that helps professionals with disabilities find jobs and advance their careers. I'm here today back in the office here in Austin, Texas, to tell you about the top jobs that we're recruiting for this week, as well as give you a weekly recruiter tip. Let's dive right into it. First up on the top jobs list that we have this week, this is for an internal position here at Peak Performers. So are you passionate about helping professionals with disabilities get jobs? And do you have an experience as an account manager and kind of working with the government as well? If so, we're currently looking for a government staffing manager. Next up on the list is a temp to hire opportunity with a local company here in Austin that helps students travel abroad on visas. If you have experience as an accountant, we would love to see your resume for consideration for this role. Next up, are you a certified mediator and have experience with the administrative appeals process? If so, we're currently looking for someone in that position, and we hope to see your resume very soon. We are currently looking for multiple project managers. So do you have experience as a full cycle project manager? If so, one of the positions is with General Land Office and multiple others are available as well. Finally, do you have extensive experience servicing customers over the phone, and are you interested in working for a Texas government agency? If so, we're currently looking for an inbound telephone operator. This week's weekly recruiter tip, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the process of applying for a position that's out of state, and furthermore, what are some of the objections that recruiters and HR managers have to hiring you that may be screening you out of the process? And then finally, we'll kind of talk about how you might be able to overcome some of those objections. Top of mind for almost all HR people and recruiters is the speed at which they can start you. Typically, if you are out of state, you will have to submit 2 weeks for your current assignment if you're currently working, and then you'll have to relocate possibly your entire family to be able to move to a different state. This is a long and complicated process. Many recruiters and HR managers may be concerned that you cannot start quickly enough. The next hesitation that I get a lot of times for out-of-state positions is that you may not actually start on the position. And look, I understand that your intentions are very pure with applying for this position, but with any job that we get, there's a significant amount of people that drop off from the point that they get extended an offer to whether or not they actually start the first day on that particular job. So that's something that's definitely in the back of everybody's mind. And that particular effect of people dropping off is especially pronounced if you have more logistics, such as being out of state. The next major objection is that a lot of times HR may not want to pay relocation costs. Look, HR is part of a business unit, and all business units are trying to reduce costs. Sometimes relocation packages can be, several thousand or even tens of thousands of dollars. So they may be concerned about paying those expenses to be able to relocate you from somewhere else. This next one is kind of for some of the remote workers. Now, I realize that as a remote worker, it doesn't matter if you're in Montana or Missouri. As long as you have an internet connection and you have access to your phone, you're good. But it's a little bit different for the business perspective. A lot of times businesses may not actually be able to do business in your state, or they may not want to do business in your state for various different employment reasons. Each state's process is a little bit different, requires a lot of paperwork, it requires a lot of working with the government, and sometimes they're either not set up currently or just don't want to be ready to do that. Now, let's talk a little bit more about how you might be able to overcome these objections. And long story short is it all starts with a phone call or some way that you can get in front of these people to help overcome their objections. The best thing that you can do is seek to understand what concerns they have and particularly seek to address how you are going to be different than any experience that they've had previously. So for example, if you currently rent or have already sold your home, that's going to make you much more attractive as far as a candidate goes. If you are able to work remotely until you actually start day one, that definitely lessens that kind of cycle between when they extend the job offer to when you actually start in the position. You can also let them know about what your expectations about a relocation package are. And obviously, if you are willing to cover that all yourself out of pocket, then that definitely lessens their burden as well. Final thing is that sometimes you might want to be able to just tell a story about how you have successfully moved across the state to start another different job and how that worked out for you and how that worked out for the company. If you're able to tell really, really good, compelling stories about how you made it work, that might also reduce their hesitancy about hiring you. So I certainly hope that this helps you to overcome any objections that HR or recruiters might have about hiring you. Again, this has been Miles from Peak Performers. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye.